Welcome back to the world of All Hallows Eve. In this section, we'll be talking about turn order. So, once you have the board set up, you're ready for the fun part, actually playing the game. Unless you're into just setting up boards, then be my guest. You can wipe it all and go again. But for normal folks, here, you start your turn as the chaperone. They bookend the beginning and the end of each round. The chaperone gets to move their trick-or-treaters around, the monsters get a chance to come in, attack, and use their hands, and then any remaining trick-or-treaters, who may be by a door, get to collect all those good pieces of candy. So, to go into further detail on that, the chaperone will start their turn by moving trick-or-treaters on the map. A trick-or-treater who starts their turn on a road tile can move up to 2 squares. It's easier movement, there's light, they can see where they're going. Your goal again is to try to get in front of the houses where the porch lights are. That is where you'll be able to collect your doorbell token, flip it, and see if it's one of the candy pieces. If they start on the grass tile, they may move 1 square per turn. They're cutting over bushes, through hedges, all of that, jumping a fence. So it's a little bit slower going for the trick-or-treaters on that end. Once all the trick-or-treaters have moved and you are done, it is then the monsters' turns. They will take their turns. They will have 3 cards in their hand. We'll go into further detail on how monsters may move and use their attacks in a later video. But for now, they'll have 3 cards that they can use on their turn to try and get the trick-or-treaters. If you take a moment here, each monster card has some information on it. One of them is speed. The monster has a movement pool. Mischief here has 3. They may move up to 3 squares. Again, they're gonna probably wanna move towards the trick-or-treaters to do that. Use their cards to attack them, and if they are successful, they get put in the monster collection. Once each of the monsters have taken their full turn, used their hand up, or decided to pass it on, the round comes back to the chaperone. This is kind of a cleanup setup, there's portion. Any trick-or-treater who happens to be in front of a house will flip the doorbell token. If it is a lights out, you've wasted your turn, they shut the light off right as you got there, bummer. We've all had those neighbors trick-or-treating. If it is a candy piece, you draw from your candy deck, and you now have 1 other card to use in your advantage against the monsters. And you'll take that, put it in your candy collection, and you are 1 step closer to winning the game. Or it may be an item, which is a boon for the trick-or-treaters to also use for the monster. In this example, it's the bike. You'll be able to put that underneath the trick-or-treater who collected it, and they get an extra movement. Pretty rad. This is also the step where if there are any awareness zones, which again we will talk about in a further video, they will move down 1. You may choose to put a trick-or-treater inside of a house that they are in front of, as long as it does not have a lights out token, for them to remain safe for an entire round. Maybe they're talking to grandma or auntie in there, but after the next round, they're booted out. While they're inside that though, they are safe from monsters' attacks. If you choose not to, they just stay right on out and are ready to keep collecting candy. Any monster who happens, for whatever reason, to be on a road square or caught in an awareness zone will then take 1 damage. And then if there's any cards that need to be drawn back into hands, that's when you would do that as well. That is a turn. And once it starts again, you'll start back with moving the trick-or-treaters, monsters taking their turns, and then once again, the cleanup stage of collecting those candy pieces, items, and rolling down the awareness zones. In our next video, we'll be talking about what monsters can do on their turn, how movement and range works, and other various features of this creepy. Thank you for tuning in.